Hi everyone, this is Andrew at Plainview Farm, and the temperatures this week have been in the mid 80s so far, and the rest of the week is going to be 90 and maybe slightly above. And when it gets hot, real farmers, well, they put on their camo shorts. I'm pretty sure the pigs like the camo shorts. Hopefully they don't decide to take a bite out of my leg. So yesterday evening I took advantage of the new tires on the John Deere 820, put the rotary cutter, the brush cutter, on the back of the tractor and started clipping the tops of the pastures. And all was going well right up until this happened. As you can see, this old, I guess, non-adjustable lift link, it had been welded before. It had broke before, apparently. I'm not sure when that happened, but it had welded once, or broke once before, been welded back together, and as you can see here, it had been headed toward coming back apart for quite a while. So I was unfortunately unable to beat the heat as far as that goes. I'm gonna have to wait until the new part comes in, which is probably gonna take about a week or so. And hopefully by that time, maybe some cooler weather will return, or I guess I can just make a late evening project out of clipping all these pastures. But this pasture here is the north side of our property. There's between 4 and 5 acres of grass out here, and the cows actually have not been out here yet this year. Interestingly enough, last year the cows had already been in this spot and grazed it off. There wasn't much out here at this time last year. There wasn't much at all on the place this time last year. It had already gotten pretty dry, and we were starting to wonder whether or not we were going to have enough grass to get through the grazing season. Unfortunately, this pasture is not hay quality. There's a lot of weeds in it. There's a lot of work still to do on this pasture to get it to where in the future, whenever we have a nice stockpile like this, you know, we could cut it for hay and you know, make something out of it that way. But like I said, I come through and I mowed it high so as not to get into the grass that's low to the ground for a couple reasons. Number one, I want that forage to be there for the cows whenever I move them onto this side of the property, and also to insulate the ground from the heat in the coming days. Now the grass that's out here is mostly fescue. There is a little bit of clover here and there. Actually, in fact, right here, we've got a little bit of red clover that is coming up, which is really exciting to me. There's little patches of this here and there. This was in some of the hay that I bought last year and I fed. There's more white clover, as you can see right there. Of course, again, it's mostly weeds out here mixed in with fescue. But we are starting to see some of these good things start to come out. And again, I firmly credit that to rolling out hay. So, you know, rolling out hay on your pastures is one way to help improve them, aside from, you know, plowing it all under and reseeding or overseeding, anything like that. There are some bonuses, again, to just rolling out hay on your pastures whenever you feed hay in the wintertime. And of course, all that fescue has gone to seed. You can see it right here, accumulated on the deck of the rotary cutter, brush cutter, whatever you want to call it. And of course, there's a much larger stash right there in this center section. Lots of seed. So naturally, with that fescue having gone to seed and going through knocking it all down onto the ground, we hope to gain some benefits from that as well. A lot of the weeds have yet to go to seed. The fescue beat them. So I wanted to get this knocked down before a lot of the other things had an opportunity to go to seed. I mean, they were on their way. They were starting to put on seed heads, but they hadn't actually gone to seed yet. One of the things was the Cerisa lespedeza. We've got a lot of Cerisa lespedeza on this property, and you know, we frankly, we don't want any more of it. We've got enough of it to satisfy us. So Wanted to get it clipped before it was really able to put on a lot of seed heads. Then of course we'll come through with the cows, and relatively shortly we'll graze all of this off. So another benefit of clipping this before we graze it is that seed gets on the ground, and we'll run the cows through in somewhat tight formation. There's bugs flying all over here, gnats. But anyway, we'll run them through in somewhat tight formation, and then the hoof pressure will kind of push those seeds into the ground, get them below the surface, and maybe keep, you know, the biggest part of them from becoming meals for the local birds here. Actually, right here is a little bare spot in the ground. I'm not exactly sure why this spot's bare, but if you look here, you can see all the little fescue seeds that have dropped onto the ground. All right, the pigs see me out here and they hear me out here talking, and they're about to go crazy, so we better get them fed. My hog's bucket is faded. It actually used to be red. So what I've been doing lately is I've been giving our boar Dan and our sow Curly Sue, they've been split in 3 scoops. They are together right now and they can kind of roam around. I've been giving them 3 scoops, like I said, to share 1.5 scoops each, and they have access to our pig pasture that has the stuff that we sowed in it earlier in the spring. The piglets, they've been getting 5 scoops of this, and actually we've got some of them, they've already been claimed. We're just waiting on folks to come get them. And then the other hogs, they've been getting the rest of this, which is between 3 of them, they're getting about, 7-8 pounds, somewhere in there. The rest of this sack between the 3 is what they're getting each day. All right, we're gonna leave the piglet bucket here. Take Dan and Curly Sue's bucket to them. And these pigs get the rest of this bag. Now you may be wondering why I'm not just filling up the feeder. So if you're wondering why I'm just dumping in part of a bag or half a bag of feed every day instead of just filling up the feeder, well, the reason is I don't want the pigs to gain too much fat weight. Now this does mean that they will grow slower, yes, but more of their weight will be actually in meat, which is what we want, okay? We want more meat there, less fat. The fat is good, but the breed of hogs, especially the breed of the sow, she is part Mangalitsa. Mangalitsa is a lard hog, and so I'm a little bit hesitant to just throw tons of feed at them all at once and just let them eat until they are, well, nothing but balls of fat. I don't want that. We want to grow meat, we don't want to grow fat, or at least that's what our customers want, meat. All right, let's try to settle down our piglets. First, let's drop the hose in the water barrel. Now we'll settle the piglets. All right, all you little guys, watch out. So as I mentioned before, some of these piglets have already been claimed. There are 11 here, including the runt. I think I may have found a home for him. 3 have already been claimed by one buyer, and then we're also going to keep 3 to raise out to feed out as butcher hogs. So that leaves 4 more that I still have to sell. So hopefully in the next couple weeks, the pressure in this pen will be greatly reduced. And at that point, we can start making room, hopefully, for the next group of pigs that we'll have in the fall. They're still a little bit skittish after recent procedure. I would be too. So Dan and Curly Sue, our boar and our sow, they've been out here picking through our pig pasture that we planted earlier. They've attacked the field peas pretty hard, hit some of the sorghum sudan grass, and you know, the other things as well, the barley, the oats. Then once I'm completely sure that Dan and Curly Sue have coupled, I will let the other pigs in here as well, probably put Dan into a pen by himself. And then Curly Sue and those butcher hogs, they will have this hopefully to eat it all down and then tear it up so I can plant it again for the fall for my next group of butcher hogs that are currently in the feeder pen. I'm not 100% sure what I want to plant in here for the fall just yet, but I know that they have really enjoyed the mixture that I've used. Again, there's barley, oats, sorghum sudan, and field peas. They seem to really like those field peas. I'm pretty sure whatever I use, there's probably going to be some turnips included. And water barrel's full. Your piglets are next. You know, I guess it's been a while since I've done a chore video, but this is it. Things really don't change from the winter to the spring to the summer to the fall, except, you know, part of the year, especially in the winter, I am feeding hay. Other than that, the pig routine pretty well stays the same. In the coming weeks, plan to get, again, all of the pastures clipped. I need to get the cattle moved over onto this north side, as well as goat kids cut out so we can get them weaned and get ready to sell. And I'll do my best to document as much of that as I can. So, as always, I hope you found this video to be either useful, at the very least enjoyable. If you did, please do me a favor and hit that like button. If you have not yet, I ask that you would please consider subscribing to our channel. I know Bella would really appreciate it, wouldn't you, girl? Yeah, she would, trust me. As always, I appreciate you watching. We'll see you next time. You guys watch it.